Hello everyone and welcome to my Peak Time recap / review video of episode 8 and 9. Getting so close to the finale. Spoiler, I've already seen everything of Peak Time. I already finished watching episode 11 and stuff. But anyway, in this video, it's just going to be about episode 8 and 9. Friendly reminder, head on over to the after show for additional commentary. I rewatch all of the performances. It's fun. It's great. I highly recommend it. And yeah, so with all that being said, let's get started. All right, so episode 8 starts a new challenge, a new round, and it is called the New Song Match. So all the groups, they choose a random number, and that number represents an original song that they get to perform. So in this episode, they also welcomed in a live audience that they get to vote. So each of the judges, they get to press the pick button for which performance they enjoyed, and that counts for a certain amount of points, and the audience members that voted for a specific performance, that also accumulates more points, and the group that has the most points, they win for this round, which the winner of the round, they will get additional votes added. There will be 2 winners in this round, so the groups are separated into 2 leagues, A League and B League. So episode 8 specifically shows B League first, and the first group from B League to compete is Team 8 O'Clock, aka DKB. Apparently, I've been pronouncing their name wrong. I've always said DKB because in their songs they've said DKB. So I just assume that's how you pronounce their name, DKB. But in the show, they pronounce it as DKB. DKB. Yeah. Anyway, you learn something new every day. So the song that they performed is called COLADA, and it is a very fun and bright song. It is different from anything that they've done before, and the members had a really hard time coming up with a choreography for it. They couldn't come up with a single bit of choreography for a whole week. Like, their minds went blank completely, and I feel so bad for them. But after some time, they were able to come up with choreography, and let me say, it worked. So this whole entire performance was so fun from start to finish. The whole concept was they're looking for treasure, and in the end, they have a map throughout the whole performance, and they flip the map and it shows the number 8 o'clock, and that is the treasure. So they themselves are the treasure. So I love it. And there's a lot of details that they specifically put in the performance. They did that on purpose. For example, certain facial expressions and gestures. Like in the middle of the song, D1, he does like the cute motions and facial expressions, and all that was done on purpose to really enhance the song. And I love how this group, they're just so talented. They're so creative. Like, I love how their brains work, okay? Because the choreography in the chorus, just from start to finish, it is so catchy. It is so clever as well. And the choreography that they came up with in the chorus, it's perfect to do dance challenge to. I could see a lot of people doing a dance challenge to it. And it's just like so catchy how they do the movements, and it's so fun. And they actually broke the stage. Literally. The LED screens that they were performing on, they performed so hard, it actually broke. So they really went all out with this performance, and I'm so proud of them. And I don't think any other group could have been able to pull off what they did with this song, unless this type of genre is what a group is used to. But the fact that this was something so different from what DKB has done before, they did amazing. So I will admit there was a moment when Kyuhyun, he was about to press the button throughout the performance, but he didn't. I wanted to scream through my computer screen. I wanted to scream at him and be like, "Sir, press the button. Like, what are you waiting for?" And he does that a couple of times with other performances. Like, he waits till the last moment to press the button. It made me so nervous. But anyway, he did press the button. So anyway, they got all the judges pressed the button for them. So Jay Park said, "A good song makes a team do better, but Team 8 O'Clock made this song better." So true. Again, I think if this song would have been given to another group, I don't think it would have been as good as what DKB did. It's so weird saying DKB. I'm so used to saying DKB. Team 8 O'Clock. They did amazing. So Kyuhyun said, "I think other teams in B League are in trouble now since the first team showed the best performance. From now on, if they don't get to a level of this team, I won't push the pick button easily." Why would he say that? Like, it's bad enough that the other groups are nervous. They're stressed. And then to have Team 8 O'Clock perform amazingly. And then to have Kyuhyun say that, like, if they can't match this energy, he won't pick them. Kyuhyun. What can I say? But spoiler, he does pick he does press the pick button several times for other groups. So next up is Team 23, and they performed the cute, sweet, bright song Chamomile. I just gotta say, Kadam starting the song, wearing that pink beret, I couldn't help but smile from start to finish throughout the entire performance. It was so cute. They made it work. So I'm someone that I don't generally go for the whole cutesy concept. It's not my thing. There's a handful of groups that could pull off the cutesy concept for me that I actually like, but the majority of the time, cutesy concept, not for me. It's not my thing. But these guys, they delivered. It was so fun to watch them on stage. They had fun. I, as a viewer, had fun. Their vocals while doing the choreography was so good. And they got an all pick, rightfully so. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. And Jay Park was the first one to press the pick button for their performance. And he said, for me, this isn't really a concept that I prefer. Same. He said, although it's not my preferred style, but because they pulled off the performance, dance, and vocals so well with confidence in the end, they didn't seem to be acting cute. Rather, they looked cool because they're good and have talent. Yes. And Kyuhyun said, my standards for B-League had already been raised, but you have easily exceeded those standards. The team who went ahead of you were quite formidable, but after I saw the Team 23 was coming out, I felt a bit reassured because I think of Team 23 as a reliable team by now. Yes, and then he did the comment of, I believe, Jhun shaking his butt, and it was great. So next up is Team 15 O'Clock, and they performed the song It's You. So just like Team 23, this was the first original new song that they received in years. And this was also the first time performing in front of a live audience in like 5 years. So the song that they got, it was very high and they had a really hard time hitting those high notes consistently. And they thought about lowering the notes and they were going to perform it like that, but then they decided to just go with the original version and try their best. Do you know how risky that is? To sing a song with very high notes and to dance at the same time? That is very risky, considering this round to me was a make or break for all these groups. So it was really risky what they did, but they pulled it off. They made it work. I'm watching this performance and I'm like, how? So I think this concept is something that they're not entirely used to. I don't know what their original group concept was, but watching this performance, I could tell that this is probably not their go-to concept. There's a lot of choreography and stuff. I still think they did good with the song that they had. I think they could have done better if it was a different song or a different type of concept, because I know that this group is very vocal heavy and this performance required a lot of choreography. So this team, they got only 4 votes, and Judge Shim Jaewon, he did mention that it lacked charm, and I kind of agree with him on that. I'm just giving this team the benefit of the doubt. Actually, I'm giving all the groups performing in this round the benefit of the doubt. I think it's just something that they're not used to. But then again, we see Team 8 O'Clock and Team 23 do something very different out of their comfort zone, and they really went above and beyond with it. However, Tiffany did say, I saw how much you grew from the beginning. It was so impressive. And that is very true. You definitely do see the growth with this group. And Gikwang said, during your entire performance, I was totally absorbed. I thought Team 15 was more about their vocal skills, but you made me think that you can perfectly pull off high-pitched songs while giving a cool dance performance. I thought your image changed greatly. Sungkyu said, the reason why I didn't press the button is since you were feeling so tense, it didn't really feel like you were singing the song proficiently. It felt like you were a bit stiff, but I really enjoyed it. Next up is Team 13, aka BAE 173, and they performed the song Criminal. So the whole concept of their performance is werewolf. Not like EXO, but I love EXO. Listen, EXO Wolf will forever be a classic, whether you love it or hate it. Still a classic. Anyway, so they performed Criminal. So throughout the performance, nobody necessarily voted for them except Ryan Jhun, but he's by default, he votes for all the groups because his vote doesn't really count because one of his songs is one of the groups actually performs the song, so his vote I don't think fully counts. But anyway, the point is, throughout their performance, they barely got any votes. It was so stressful. I cannot imagine how scared they were while performing, seeing all the judges and nobody's picking them. That's scary. But anyway, however, in the last minute, all the judges pulled a Kyuhyun. They voted literally at the last second of the song, or like towards the end of the song. So in total, they got 7 votes out of 8. I thought this performance was pretty good. Once again, Hangul and Jaemin really stood out to me. But for the majority of the performance, it definitely was Hangul. I thought their formations were great, especially in the beginning. And there were certain parts of the choreography that was really memorable. So overall, I thought it was a pretty good performance. So the judges agreed that Hangul really did well in this performance. He definitely stood out. So Jae Park, he's the only one that didn't vote for them. So he said, I kept switching back and forth between being impressed and disappointed, so it was a bit hard for me to get into it. So Jae Park also mentioned that Hangul has a really strong stage presence, and this could be a good thing and a bad thing. So it's good for him, but not so much for the team, because he wasn't able to focus on the other members as much. And I agree with that statement, but I have seen the growth of all these members throughout Peak Time, and I'm sure they're going to continue to grow after Peak Time, and I look forward to that. A perfect example is Jaemin. For me, he really stood out in the previous rounds, and now in performances, I look forward to watching him perform. Ryan Jhun said that Junso stood out for him. He said, just like what the judges said, you guys were all like sports cars. You kept racing and you get drained. As long as you break the pattern and improve your endurance, you could become the strongest team. All right, next up is Team 14 O'Clock, aka Ghost 9, and they performed the song Fever. It's definitely sexier than the songs that they've performed prior. So one of the things that I do like is that they nicknamed the leader, Junhyung, Leader Bear. I think that's such a sweet nickname. I absolutely love it. So I was looking forward to this performance, and I was really hoping that they would perform 100%. They would go all out, give that Ghost 9 energy that I love to see, but they didn't deliver the performance as strong as I had hoped they would. I do believe that the leader Junhyung, he definitely felt the pressure of this round. I think that also spread onto the other members as well. I mean, they did perform really well, but it wasn't as powerful as their previous performances. A perfect example is Junhyung. He's definitely one of my favorite members. He's a contestant that has really stood out to me in Peak Time. How he performed in the unit battle was unmatched, impeccable. So I was expecting that same energy with this song, but it didn't necessarily happen. But I do have to say his vocals were impeccable though. That high note. Chef's kiss. I don't know how they do it. They got 4 votes in total in this round, and Kyuhyun said, Kyuhyun did vote for them, and he said, I said I'd raise my standards, but I'm such a pushover right now. Everyone was so good today. So I do agree with Kyuhyun. They still were very good, but seeing their past performances, I know that they could have done better. So Kyuhyun continues on to say, this is such a difficult song. It's not easy to sing it live. He did praise Jinwoo for his steady live performance. So Jinwoo is the youngest member of the group, and he was having a hard time with this song, and Junhyung was helping him in the recording studio, and even Taehwan from Team 11 O'Clock, aka Vanner, he also helped him out, and it was a very sweet moment. I loved watching that segment. So Tiffany said, you were doing so well, but while I was looking at the memorable moment, the song ended. When you perform a new song, you can make it memorable by making a certain face or gesture that was a visual impact. And Ryan Jhun, he gave them some encouraging words, and I thought that was very nice. All right, so moving on to episode 9. Now we start to see the performances from A-League. And first up is Team 2 O'Clock, and they performed the song Circuit. So prior to this, actually after the previous round, they went straight to Japan for a concert, and even while they were there, they were still rehearsing and practicing for this song. Their performance was spectacular. It was one of the best, for sure, of this challenge. They were so in sync. They were all into the song. And there was a lot of things in the choreography that I didn't even notice the first time, but I caught it in the second time that I watched it in the after show. This choreography has a lot of cool details, and the member that stood out to me the most in this performance was Jaemin, aka the member with the orange hair. His facial expressions were spot on perfect. But I think 2 O'Clock was a perfect example of how all the members stand out when they need to in the song, and it really strengthens the entire performance. They got 7 votes, and this is another performance where the judges waited until the end of the performance or towards the end of the performance to vote. Like, do they want to make these guys stressed on purpose or something? I mean, they're performing, they're giving their whole heart out on stage, and nobody's voting for them until the end. So Moonbyul said, so she did admit, I almost forgot about the pick button. I was surprised at how immersed I was in it. So yes, she was the last person to press the pick button. Like, the song ended and then she pressed the button. I'm happy that at least she pressed it. So she said the performance felt like an engine. It felt like the stage was burning up and I was able to feel the power of your teamwork so I could get more immersed into it. Same. Kyuhyun said, I could feel Team 2 O'Clock put their soul into this round. You guys showed the standard of synchronized group dance. But Shim Jaewon, he didn't vote. So he said, the disappointing part was the energy this team gave us was very clear and bright. In a way, they gave off the pure energy of young people. Actually, I didn't feel much of it. I highly doubt we saw the same performance. I don't think he saw the same performance that we did, because Team 2 O'Clock delivered from start to finish. All right, next up is Team 20 O'Clock, aka Mont. So they performed a song called Like I've Never Done This Before. So they did mention that in every single round in Peak Time, they always perform a different genre. And that is so true. I mean, in Peak Time, we get to see different sides of Mont, and I'm happy that they take on that challenge. So they did show the segment of them practicing for the song, and they were singing live while running around in circles and squatting. I mean, props to their commitment. I mean, that's amazing. I don't know how you could run around, sing, and do squats at the same time. So overall, I thought they did a good job with the song that they were given. Personally, I thought the song was good, but it's not my type of song. I didn't really enjoy the song that much, but again, I think Mont, they did the best that they could with the song that they had. They got a total of 6 votes, and Sungkyu, he said, today's stage felt different from previous stages that I've seen from Team 20 O'Clock, so it was nice to see a new side of them. Every performance that they do on Peak Time is a new side to them, to be honest. Sungkyu and Shim Jaewon, they did praise Bitseon for his steady vocals despite dancing around. And Tiffany said, I placed much importance in how much the team could take a blank page and make it their own song. I thought while listening to this song that it wasn't convincing. I didn't feel the freedom and energy that I used to see from you guys. So throughout the entire Peak Time, they've gotten really good feedback up until this performance. This was the first performance in Peak Time, I believe, that they got critiqued. And I do agree with Tiffany, but at the same time, I kind of blame it on the song. I mean, I'm trying to imagine any of the other groups performing this song, and I think they still would have gotten a similar feedback, to be honest. So I think Mont did the best that they could with what they had, with what they were given. Next up is Team 24, and they performed a song called Be Mine. So this was their official debut stage. 5 days prior to their performance, they lost a member, and I have to search up why specifically he left. I know that there's been articles and they announced it. I haven't really read much about it, so I can't really form an opinion on why he left and whatnot. Anyway, Team 24 had to rearrange the song and the choreography before the performance. So they said that this performance would be more seductive than sexy, but I still think it was sexy. I mean, I can't imagine Team 24 doing any other concept. So I do want to say, I don't think I've mentioned Hido before in my last video, but I should have, because Hido is another member that has really stood out to me in Peak Time. I think his rap is amazing. I love his stage presence. So overall, they got 4 votes, and I believe this is another group that they felt the stress and pressure to perform really well, and because they lost a member and they had to change everything, it definitely affected their performance. I mean, we've seen all these 4 guys perform really well in other rounds. I mean, they performed good, but they could have performed better because we've seen better performances from them. So the same thing from Team 14 O'Clock applies to Team 24. I think it was just the pressure and the stress that got to them and it hindered their performance. So Kyuhyun and Gikwang, they did praise them for their great vocals. So Shim Jaewon did mention that because the person that was their center, he's the member that left, it definitely affected their performance. And he said, when a team has weaknesses or negative elements, they should know how to hide it or cover it up for each other. But it felt like the overall formation made it difficult to do this. So next up is Team 11 O'Clock, Vanner, and they performed the song Skyscraper. Sound-wise and lyric-wise, this song suited them perfectly. So their concept was office workers, like employees. So they had like a button-up shirt and like a tie. Listen, in the performance, even though it's not supposed to be sexy, they still looked very sexy. And I loved it. Anyway, so the song was great. Their vocals were amazing. Their rapping was so good. So in this performance, ASEAN, he really stood out to me. And there was a lot of memorable moments in this choreography, specifically when they like hold the tie. I think that was so clever. It is such a solid performance from start to finish. And of course, they got an all pick. Moonbyul said, Team 11 O'Clock has so many talented people in it, as we know, but the one who caught my attention today is ASEAN. Honestly, I noticed other members more before, but today I kept noticing how you were taking control from the beginning. Same. J Park said, I used to notice Heesung and Taewon more too, but today I noticed Youngwang and Gon. Of course, there were things I was disappointed with. With choreography, you have to synchronize the intensity more, and some members needed to be a bit more aggressive in their solo parts too. I didn't necessarily notice that the first time watching this performance or the second time watching it in the after show, but I think if I were to watch the performance again, but keeping in mind what J Park said about the different levels of intensity, I still think the performance was good. Gikwang said the choreography and your confidence level had a free and sexy feeling. It was very captivating. See? Even Gikwang admits that it's sexy. I mean, it works with Vanner. It works for them. Next up is Team 7 O'Clock, aka Mask. So this is a team that they haven't really stood out to me. Like, they've just been okay throughout peak time, but this is the performance where they definitely shined, at least to me. So they have the song Doesn't Matter. This is one of my favorite original songs from peak time, for sure. As soon as I watched their performance and I listened to the song for the first time, I wanted to keep replaying it. It is so catchy. And of course, it is produced by Jhun. The song is amazing. Definitely one of my top favorites. I think it's going to be one of my top favorite songs of 2023. But anyway, this team, they delivered such a great performance. They were singing and dancing, and the choreography requires a lot of movements. And there's moments in the song where they're on the floor and then they get up again and then they're on the floor again. But they maintained their steady vocals from start to finish. And I think they really brought this song to life. And I'm so proud of them. They definitely delivered in this round. And it paid off. Spoiler, it did. Because they made it to the final round. And of course, they got an all pick, and rightfully so. So J Park said, I love the song, but it took me a bit to be convinced. I kept looking at Heejay. You were so confident and your dance improved a lot too. I agree. He had great vocals too. Shim Jaewon said, part that really struck me at the end of the second verse, there was a part where you perform where you're sitting. Basically, they were body rolling on the floor, okay? Not sitting. They were body rolling. They maintained steady vocals. So yes, the judges were praising Jhun for creating such a great song. But Jhun said it's because these guys performed it well. That is why the song is so good. And I agree. All right, so the winner for A League was Team 11 O'Clock, Vanner. And the winner for B League was Team 8 O'Clock, Dakabi. DKB, I'm so used to saying DKB. It's so weird for me to say Dakabi. But yeah, I still highly recommend you all check out these performances if you guys haven't. And if you guys want to watch it with me, you guys could head on over to the after show. It's a lot of fun. And there's also additional commentary. So that wraps it up for this video. Stay tuned for my recap of episode 10 and the grand finale, episode 11. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye.